So, Maria, how are you getting on with everything and the music? Like, what's going on with you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been creating some more music since actually I'm doing this production course with you because
Mm,
I find it really useful to really break down all of the different elements to really hone in on each of them, like the drums or the kicks or even melodies or music theory, and all of that is really helpful to actually just really understand it a little bit better and know how to make them really sound really good. So I think that's really helped to for me to, yeah, on top of the work that I've done before, but it helps me to really clarify and understand it. And also, being able to go back into the videos and then kind of see, like, doing the homework. That's, I think, a really important thing.
right.
Yeah, it has helped me to, I think, definitely improve already with the music I have been doing. And um so yeah, it keeps me going. It keeps me yeah, learn the necessary elements, not just kind of like a lot of the things I've been doing, and which is fine, but like kind of just like, going by trial and error, just trying things out. But this helps to really understand what am I doing, and just to kind of be really intentional. Okay, I want this sound, or I want, I know that this is what sounds good, and understand why does it sound good, and all of that. So
Right.
quite a lot of elements. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's really good to hear. It's good to hear that you're finding it's really helping already so far. I appreciate that. We've only been working together for a while, but yeah, you are absolutely right. Like, there is a lot of fun you can have in the trial and error side of things for sure, and there's a lot of possibilities in there, but often they might lead to not to the best results, and a lot of time just wasting. Like, well, is this right? Why is this not sounding good? But like, once you kind of understand the fundamentals behind stuff as well, it becomes just a lot easier to be able to just basically. I know it sounds counterintuitive by removing a lot of the possibilities, but actually it just speeds up the process and actually makes music a lot more fun. So it's really good
Yeah.
that you're definitely seeing that. And like, where were you before with like music? Like, what was happening before we started working together?
Yeah. Well, I started music production really like a year and a well, it must be like a year and a half or something ago. And or 2 years ago, let it be 2 years ago now, but like really with like production into house and techno really like a year ago. And I've done some courses and I've worked with coaches, and it's all been really helpful to get me to a place where I was before we met. But like, I don't think that I've had this really intentional sort of approach where, really understanding everything into depth, and in lengthy time spending on things as well, just, honing that in. So yeah, I was creating, some songs, but a lot of it also with a lot of procrastination time in between.
Hmm.
So I've released one track, like one of my first tracks before, but it was like before I started the whole like house and techno production last year. And yeah, all of the coaches that I've worked with and programs that I did were really, really good. But yeah, it's I think this is just kind of like filing it off for me. So I haven't released anything in that whole time, also because I held back, not entirely sure yet is it good. And I maybe want to actually go back after, learning now, to go back into those tracks which I really like, and see, how to improve them or actually get them mastered, and maybe release them with my on, just for myself, or whatever. But that's where I'm at. So I've been like doing a lot of stuff, a lot of different things, different coaches, and yeah, getting involved into learning a lot, like doing some retreats here and there. Um, but yeah, I still had it was a learning process. It's not like I've
Sure.
been doing this for a very long time professionally. I've still considered myself always a student, because I'm very much in the beginning. I've been DJing since 2016, but also with a long break in between, because when I wanted to come back, it was
Hmm.
with my own music and stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess your attitude is definitely testament to the results you're getting because, I'm seeing you come on a long way, which is really nice. And having that always learning attitude, like in the jiu-jitsu world, you call it a white belt mentality. So even if you're a black belt, you're still always a white belt and always learning every single day. And, even myself, like I learn cool new stuff all the time. Like you're never a master
No.
or an expert. You can be an expert, but even the experts are still learning, right? And
Mm.
it's just good to get different perspectives and just really dive down into the hows and whys.
Yes.
And yeah, like I think for sure we'd be able to get your tracks released this year, no question about that. And with the mastering side of things, like you'll learn how to master your own tracks very shortly as well, which is great. But yeah, like I think a few things you said resonated with me there with like you might have like really good ideas with tracks, but it's just like they're not quite there to where you want them to be. And there's many tracks I've made versions, like multiple versions of. Like one of the first tracks I ever made, it was called El Toro, which was like this sort of flamenco Spanish techno track kind of thing. And I thought, oh, this is so cool. But then at the time, I was like, well, it's got a great idea, but it sounds like shit. And it went through about 7 or 8 versions as I kept getting
Right.
better and better, and then eventually released it. And now I would think like I would really love to do another version of it, but like, it's too late.
Yeah.
But
But that's that point about the great ideas. I always get that comment, or I always got that comment. Oh, there's some really great ideas, and I was like, ah, yeah. It's like always just like the ideas are great, which is good, but it never was like really getting to okay, like oh yeah, this sounds good, and just some minor things. Always like some great ideas, but I feel now this is actually being broken through slowly. Like that
mm,
the ideas finally I'm understanding okay the great ideas and why they were great ideas. Some over processing, a lot of stuff that I used to do was over process a lot. I didn't really use Serum very much or any of the plugins or additional sound creations. I wasn't very good at that yet, but I feel like now I'm able to, like I said, to understand that better and be able to go that route so that they sound more clean and sound, good and not just over processed or
right.
whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You need a lot less than you think in terms of the processing to make something sound good. And often it's just using a really good sound to start with, or finding a really good source material and tweaking it so that it is going to fit the context of the track. And yeah, with the idea side of things, as we've spoken about many times, like the idea is probably the most important part of the track. So the technical parts, like the getting it to really shine and really developing that idea, can all come with time, and you're learning that actively now, which is great. But that's the best part. You can't really teach creating a good idea, which is it's fantastic that you have that. Well, you can teach, you can help refine
Mhm.
ideas, but yeah, that's the most important part. And a lot of people get so sort of caught down in the technical side of things, and it's like that is also really important. But if you've got a shit idea, then it doesn't matter how technically great it is, right? It's still going to be shit. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's really really cool. And yeah, so I guess be cool to know just like what's the plan for like the next few months or years with music, and like yeah, like how could we help further?
Yeah, well, I want to definitely make this like a really like a huge part of my life because I'm enjoying it so much. And the more I'm learning, I'm noticing, oh, this is very much like a side of me that feels that it was hidden for a long time, but it was always there. And now it's coming out. It just feels very good. And so, yeah, I definitely want to. I love the production side of things. I mean, I have like visions of course, playing out and
Mm,
playing my own music out or like playing in festivals and stuff like that. But I think for me, the most important aspect is just creating and having like a good sort of, yeah, not routine, but like releasing tracks and them being also successful, doing collaborations. I obviously
sure.
the success aspect is nice, but only because I'd like to make it more of it.
Right.
So there has to be an element of that. Otherwise, if it doesn't go anywhere, then yeah, I will continue doing it for myself. But it's nice to be able to do it more and then to be able to collaborate with other artists and yeah, and just have joy in creating it. So yeah, the whole thing. Really, I
Awesome.
hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, like the love and passion for it is the most important part, and it can, yeah, I fully feel it can be very frustrating, like when you feel like you're just banging your head against the wall and it doesn't seem to be working. But we're definitely getting to that point where you know you're going to have a lot more autonomy doing this and just be able to be comfortable in your ideas and
Yeah.
production process. And yeah, it is like of course, a consistency thing. Just like showing up all the time is really important. Like, even if it's like half an hour a day of production, like do that more often than not, you're going to get much better and quicker and have better ideas, etc. But yeah, that all comes like, there are some people we talk to that they want to be like, I want to be superstar famous. I want to be headlining this festival by the end of the year. And you're just kind of like, okay, but do you actually love making music? Is that what it's because the authenticity side of things is so important, and people can like tell, right? Like if a piece of music is actually coming from someone wanting to do it as opposed to wanting to be famous and successful. There was
Yeah.
one particular person I spoke to who said like he said he had a plan for basically headlining one of the biggest festivals in the US, and I was like, okay, cool. Have you released any music? Like, no. He's like, do you produce? I was like, well, I'm going to hire somebody to produce for me,
Mm.
produce my ideas, and hire a mixing engineer, then a marketing company. And I was like, so you just want to be really famous and not really do anything, right? So like,
Yeah.
there's not really any joy in that, and you know, that guy's plan, it was never going to work, and even if it did and he got some success, he would never really be happy with where he turned out because he's
Yeah.
doing it for all the wrong reasons. But if you do it for the right reasons, and the good things do come because you're way more authentic, but also like you're just happier with it, right? Like it's not about the results. Like sure, yeah, we can show you how to actually get people listening to your music, right? That's really important to have people enjoying it.
Mm.
But you know, the fact that it's coming from a good place is so much more important. So that's really good to hear. And
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
we will get lots of awesome releases out this year and some good collaborations coming up as well.
Yeah, no, amazing. I believe so too. And yeah, I mean it's good to have ambition and a drive and a vision. I love that. But it's I agree with you. If it's like not aligned for the right reasons, then maybe there's a misalignment in the a driver that may not create that fulfillment. I definitely feel like the music that I make, like I definitely you know, I feel like really inspired to want to learn, like even Ableton Live and maybe, create something. I like the creativity aspect of it and feeling it, channeling it, and that's what brings me joy. And if I can, like with the music, connect to other people's emotions, which I like to create music that's quite emotive, or like that's at least
Mm.
that's what I'm trying to create, like or creating a story and then connect with melancholy or nostalgia. I noticed that about me. So something that makes people feel and think. And yeah, so if I can do that, then that would be awesome.
I
Yeah.
I know you can, and that's the best kind of way of writing music as well. Like it's got to connect with people, right? I mean, yeah, sure, people can connect with all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, but like actually like emotive music is way more powerful than just like a banger or like a what's the word? Like an artificially constructed banger or like a cash grab like hey, let's just make this because people are going to love it, right? But people can see right through it, and you can tell like there's bands or artists or whatever where you can tell they just were just like, okay, let's just try and make a hit and make it successful, and it usually flops and people are like, oh, I don't relate to this. They prefer the real authentic emotion and like journey that you can take them on, right? So yeah, I'm very confident that there's going to be a lot of awesome tunes coming from you this year, Maria. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's great to hear.
Thank you.
um yeah, it's a pleasure to work with you as always, and let's keep doing what we're doing and get you some awesome tunes out there. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds very good. Very excited. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's do it.